Hey everybody, it's Karen. I want to talk about something unusual, something we don't usually talk about. Um, I want to talk about money in AA. I want to talk about the basket. I want to really kind of ruffle your feathers here. Let's talk about the basket. Let's talk about how you get to go to Alcoholics Anonymous for free, right? A lot of people have to pay hundreds of dollars an hour to see therapists and specialists. And people like me get to go to Alcoholics Anonymous and walk in and sit down, and they give you a cup of coffee, right? Free cup of coffee, air conditioning or heat, lights are on, lights, camera, action, right? Free therapy, a host of friends. They pass the basket, and I don't have any money. Like it's a big surprise. I think that there's a couple things that I've learned about that basket. When I first got to AA, I didn't have any money. I was homeless, I was broke, I was unemployable, and I didn't have any money. And so they told me, there's other ways you can give. You can take out the trash. You can wash the coffee pots. You can serve coffee. You can, be of service. And I thought, oh, you know what I mean? I can do that. There's something. I should do something besides take up space. You know what I mean? I come in, take coffee, take advice, get a couple of chuckles. I'm good to go, right? I'm sober. And I can't clean a coffee cup. You know what I mean? There were times when I was drinking and using when I would say, I do anything to stay sober. Please help me. I would do anything. I'll pay anything. And yet I go to AA and I can't clean a coffee cup. Then I started making some money. And the basket would come around and it'd be like, oh my God, I just started making money. I have a ton of financial amends. This is really a great talk, isn't it? Because people that go to AA really know what I'm talking about, right? This is true shit. This is stuff people don't talk about. But the basket would come around and I would think, oh my God, I can't put this money in there. This might be the last dollar I ever make, right? I've got to keep this dollar. It's true. I was so broke that when I started making money and I needed money so bad, putting it in the basket was like, ugh, was terrible. It forced me to have faith. It forced me to have value, to put value on the very thing that was giving me my life back. And I started putting that dollar in, and I started putting $5 in, and I started making money, and I would put money in the basket. There was a time when I was making a lot of money, right? A lot of money for me. And it was not that long being sober, right? My whole life turned around. So I started putting some money. I laid it heavy in the basket. I thought, you know what? This money isn't even my money. Like, I know I came here unemployable, couldn't work, drinking 24 hours a day, right? Hot mess. I was a mess. So I get sober. This room helps me get sober. And now I'm able to make money. I know that's God. This is all God's money anyway, right? So I'm going to be responsible with it, but I am going to look after the place that's looking after me. And I don't know why that's so hard for people. I was in a meeting with this guy. He had like 45 years. And he was like taking a couple quarters out of his pocket. And he'd made some money. He'd been around, right? He was doing well. He had just driven in from like Newport Beach. I was like, and I think I threw in like a 10. Not to be a show off, nothing, just because I know that's my spot, that's my life. $10, come on. It sounds like a lot, right? But when I go to Starbucks, I spend on a coffee and a Danish like $7-8. $10 is not that much, right? I spend $10 like that. I go to Rite Aid or CVS, and I go in for one little thing, and I come out, and I've spent $75, and I've got a little bag, right? But oh, $10 to save my life at an AA meeting is just too much. And now, see, I put in money. I don't always put in $10. Don't get me there. Sometimes I'll put in $2, sometimes $4. It depends what I have in my wallet, but I always try to make sure I have cash in my wallet. And I put it in for the people that don't have any money, like I did. Somebody was putting money in when I couldn't put in money. You know what I mean? And it has showed me faith, and it showed me faith that there's going to be another dollar, right? There's going to be another dollar. And I want to keep the doors open for the next guy. I want to keep it open for my kid if my kid ever needs to come. I want to keep it open for your kid if your kid needs to come. Maybe your grandkids need to come. We need to keep Alcoholics Anonymous going. And we're self-supportive on our own contributions. So thinking that someone else is going to pay the bill is how I drank and used. Or someone else will take care of it. You know what I mean? Somebody will get the bill. I gotta take some responsibility. You know what I mean? This is saving my life. And I don't have to go to detox or treatment, or I don't have to go to a therapist or a psychoanalyst or it's saving my relationships. I don't have to go to a family therapist or anything like that. It's saving everything in my life. So why wouldn't I put money in the basket? And people that put $1 in the basket, oh, come on. They've been putting $1 in the basket since like 1960. Prices have gone up. The other day we were talking in a meeting, and we had a couple guests there, right? And I'm in Palm Springs, and somebody was talking, the treasurer was given the report and said how much we pay for rent. We actually have a landlord that has discounted our clubhouse rent, right? We are really lucky, but it's still a fortune, right? So they said how much the rent is, and the guest raised his hand and said, I can't believe you're paying that much for rent, right? Well, it is what it is. I mean, you got to pay, it's a square footage price, and then there's air, and there's water, and there's coffee, and there's expenses, and a lot of people can't pay. So if you have the money, you got to pay. You have to. It's a sign of respect. It's a sign of faith. I've learned a lot about being self-supportive in the club room and being self-supportive in my life as a woman, alcoholic. So I think there's a whole big lesson there in the basket that not enough people talk about. And I wanted to talk about it, and I'm going to talk about those kind of weird things, because I think those are the things that Alcoholics Anonymous really gives you a round out way to live your life. You know what I mean? Have you ever seen somebody before and you thought they're in the program? What is it about them that made you think they were in the program? It's the way they live their life. It's not just they don't drink. It's the way they live their life. So I'm glad I got to talk about it. I don't know if anyone's going to watch this, and I know if you watch it, if you're a diehard AA member like I am, then you will appreciate this, and maybe go a little heavier on the hat, boys. Bye.